morning. We're here with Tom Lentz with Davie Electrical. Tom, how are you this morning?
Doing fine, Wendy. Thank you.
Good. Well, thank you for taking some time to talk with us. I know we chatted for just a few minutes before we got on, and sounds like you guys have been staying fairly steady. People having projects to do and that type of thing. So that's good to hear.
Yes, I'll be glad to talk about it later, but yeah, the phone keeps ringing, people with problems, and we love to solve problems.
Yeah, well, good. Well, before we sort of dive into the questions, I wanted to give you an opportunity to just kind of introduce yourself to folks who may be watching. Just tell a little bit about, you, your family. Just introduce yourself from more of a personal basis.
Okay, good. Thank you. I'm Tom Lentz. We've been in Davie County. My wife, Cheryl, and I have been in Davie County for 25 years. We moved across the river from Salisbury and bought an old house on Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
Our house was built in 1891, and we've spent, I have spent a lot of time renovating it. I tell people, if you have an old house, you never run out of anything to do.
I bet.
But my wife Cheryl and I have been married 30 years, and I've worked on the inside of the house. She's worked on the outside of the house. Has a lovely garden. We have 4 boys. None of them are living at home. One in Seattle, one in San Francisco. One formerly of New York, and one in Boone. So the problem is none of them want to be electricians. But we've got a lovely dog that needs to be walked every day, which keeps Cheryl occupied.
Yeah.
My background is I didn't start out to be an electrician. I graduated from Georgia Tech with an engineering degree in mechanical engineering, and worked for big companies up until about 25 years ago, and experienced the frustrations of big companies. And during a layoff, I decided that I could work for myself, that I would become a licensed electrician.
Mm-hmm.
What I didn't realize at the time was, in order to become a licensed electrician, you have to work for a licensed electrician for at least 4 years before you can take the test to become an electrician.
Okay.
And I would say to any of the young people out there considering a career, that to take a look at electrician, plumbers, they don't. You can go to school to learn the basics, but if you're going to be, for example, be an electrician, you have to essentially apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
You start at the bottom doing the grunt jobs and learning hands-on.
Right.
There's 2 portions of it to become licensed. You got to understand the technicalities and the legal code of the National Electric Code, but you also have to have that practical experience that you only pick up day to day working on problems.
Right.
So I've been doing electrical work for about 25 years. I have an unlimited license, which means that Davie Electric can do anything electrical in North Carolina and several other states that the biggest electrical companies can do.
Okay.
Davie Electric was started about 15 years ago, and
were you the original owner, or were you getting ready to start that?
No, Richard Staley started it.
Okay.
And he worked with me with another contractor. And I had been doing work for a company out of Asheville doing service work for Lowe's Home Improvements
Mm-hmm.
and Kmart, back when Kmart was still a viable
Yeah.
entity across the Southeast. I was doing a lot of traveling. I got tired of that, came back, hooked up with Richie, and helped grow the company from one person to we now have 6 people.
Okay.
And I bought the business.
Okay.
So
that's kind of the history of it then. Well,
yeah, that's the history.
Yeah. Well, tell us, I know you mentioned that you all are, you have the unlimited liability. Did you call it the unlimited liability?
No,
or unlimited license or what?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Unlimited liability comes with that.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about, a little bit more about Davie Electrical as far as, what are some things that you all do? I know you said that you can pretty much do any type, but what are some common things that people call you for?
All right. Well, we do residential projects from new homes. We wired new homes that are being built. We do remodel projects from a small kitchen remodel, basement remodel. We do small projects like putting up ceiling fans, changing out a light. And we also do emergency calls when somebody that has a meter can that has been on their house for 50 years and it suddenly fails and it's overheated, and hopefully they don't have a fire, but instances where the fire department's been called and they pulled the meter and it has to be replaced.
Okay.
So one of the things about Davie Electric that I like is that although we're not a real big company, we are big enough to where we have enough people that when emergencies come up, we can respond. So that, for example, somebody called last Thursday, said they've gotten a letter from Energy United that they have a problem and need to be fixed within 14 days. So we were able to jump on that on the next day and get it inspected and taken care of.
Okay. I know you all do a lot of, and this is just a random question, but would you all, like, especially like right now, I know folks are doing a lot of outdoor work, which maybe turns into some landscape lighting and that type of thing. Do you all get involved with that in any
yes,
manner?
We can do landscaping light, which involves low voltage lighting. And landscape lighting has benefited from the advent of LEDs, and certainly one of the things that we help people with is understanding all the changes that are coming about on lighting.
Right.
If anybody goes to Lowe's to buy a bulb, they'll see that they've got 20 choices to replace that bulb that burned out, except the bulb that they have in their hand that was they had 10 years ago.
Right.
So we can help with that, and we also do commercial installations and service.
Okay.
We have helped a number of companies that have moved into Davie County get hook up equipment, make changes. We have done a project in the past couple of weeks for one of the companies that's working on masks. They needed special setup. We were able to respond to that.
Okay.
So,
well, that kind of leads us into our next question. Obviously, this COVID-19 has had a major effect on businesses and has required many of us to do some things differently. what are some things that has it affected you all, and if so, what are some things you all are doing differently?
As I said, every day is a new challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had some one major project put on hold because of their changes.
Right.
And we've had a kitchen remodel that was supposed to be finished this week, delayed another month because the cabinets are back ordered from.
Oh, okay.
But one of the interesting things that I encountered was I got a call last week from a customer that said his grandson had come in and installed 2 new ceiling fans for him. And when he did, he replaced the boxes, put in ceiling fan rated boxes, which was good. Mm-hmm. But they cut apart all the wires, and when he put them back together, he put all the whites together and all the blacks together, which may have worked under certain circumstances, but he says, I don't have any lights to work in the house now. So after a couple hours, we were able to sort out how the wires were supposed to go to, and he now has lights. But one of the things I would call, I'm not against people doing their own electric work. The problem is electricity is one of those things that will work sometimes even if it's done wrong.
Right.
And if it's done wrong, it's probably not safe.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, every day brings a challenge.
Okay. Okay, let me get here to the next question I had for you. Tell us something that you all offer customers that maybe folks don't realize. What is something that when people find out you do it, they're like, oh, if I'd have known that, I'd have given you a call a long time ago.
Well, there are several things we do. We work with realtors and home buyers when they do a home inspection.
Okay.
Before they sell the house or before they buy the house, they have a home inspection, identifies all the questionable things. And so we oftentimes get involved with giving an estimate on the cost that these items amount to, and then fixing them. Mm-hmm. And one of the related things that may not know about is that 2 things. One is people may have roof ventilator fans that are that didn't work. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes we can change the motor and make them work. Okay. And the other thing is we can do trenching so that we can run electrical lines to an outside building and or swimming pools.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, because I know, I remember years ago when we first moved into our house, my husband put in a building in our backyard, and I remember him doing that trench himself. Yep. So yeah, knowing there's somebody who can do that, because that's a job. Okay, well, got one more question for you. Tell me this, as an electrical contractor, what is a common misconception that people have when it comes to doing electrical work?
Well, most people realize that electricity can be dangerous. Mm-hmm. But there are some people that shut off the power and do it anyway. Yeah. And like I said, if I've seen a number of cases where when they turned the power back on, it didn't work. So it's And we love those people because we're happy to straighten out make it work correctly.
Right.
So,
well, and I think that's I've heard you say before, because I know you're very involved with the business community and just in general, and I've heard you say before that electricity is not a hobby. So,
no, it's not a good hobby.
A good hobby, that's it. Well, I remember that. That was a good line that stuck with me. But I can totally understand that. I know me personally, I wouldn't ever have the nerve to do it, but I can imagine you all have probably seen some real messes where people have thought, this can't be that hard to do. I can just YouTube it.
Well, I tell people brain surgery is not difficult if you do it enough times. But, one of the misconceptions is that electricians don't mind getting shocked. Yes, we do mind getting shocked, and we take every precaution to avoid it.
Right. Well, I'm sure you've been shocked. So yes. Do you want to share how many times, or is that?
I lost count of
it. Okay. Well, at least I know that's why people need to call you. So if somebody needs to get shocked, it could be you and not them, right?
Right. And final thing I'd say is, nobody needs an electrician till they need an electrician.
Yeah.
And when they think about it, they ask their neighbors or somebody in the family. Mm-hmm. So 90% of our business is through referrals.
Right.
Or people that we have done business with over the years calling us back. So
okay.
I certainly appreciate what DavieLiFE does and what you are doing for the community.
Well, we appreciate you because Davie Electrical, you all have been with us for a very, very long time. I think from the very beginning, and and folks like you have made it possible for us to do what we do. So we are grateful for you and your support. So, well, Tom, it's been nice talking to you, and I'm sure you have other work that you need to tend to. So we will go ahead and hop off. But unless there's something else you'd like to say.
No, thank you.
Okay. Well, you all have a good day, and tell Cheryl I said hello.
I will. Appreciate it.
Okay. See you. Bye-bye.